Oh, it was strange, and there's the keys there. She let me out and she said, I really hope the aliens don't follow you home. I was like, wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. One of the things I enjoy about locksmithing is that you meet every cross-section of society, really. One Friday I had to go to a job for a lady in Remuera, quite a nice home. Spent the day there changing locks, etc. on doors, number of doors to the outside. She spent quite a bit of time on the phone to international clients, etc. Every once in a while took a break and would tell me stories of how she's seen unusual things in her home, like beams of blue light coming through the wall, been followed home by what she thought were aliens, and thought it was quite unusual. And finished the job, and at the end of the day, being a Friday, it was just after 5 p.m. and I was thinking, geez, I want to get going. And went round, showed her how all the new locks worked. We're at the front door, locked the front door, and showed her how that lock worked, handed her the keys. We both sat down in the entrance area and I wrote up the receipt for the job, and then said, I'll get going. Went to the front door, it's locked, and I said, oh, you've got the keys? And she said, no, I haven't got the keys. And she was wearing a sundress, there was nowhere the keys could be on her. And I said, they must be on the seat. Weren't on the seat, she hadn't moved. And I said, the keys must be here. And she said, you've got the keys. And I said, no, I definitely gave you the keys when I finished showing you how the lock worked. And she sat down and goes, oh no, they've got them. And I said, who's got them? And she said, the aliens. And I'm like, oh no, this can't be real. She said, there's nothing we can do. And I said, well, look, they must be here somewhere. And I looked, and all there was a small bookshelf behind her that had a couple of items on it. I'd looked literally through everything that was around her, thinking she must have put the keys down somewhere. And sat back down, and I said, look, they must be somewhere. And she said, the aliens have got them. And while I'm talking to her, I looked, and there they were on a shelf that I knew that I'd looked at, and they weren't there. And I thought, this is strange, and there's the keys there. She let me out, and she said, I really hope the aliens don't follow you home. I was like, wow. I had another interesting call out just up in the corner of Hopetown and Pitt Street. I had a gentleman come in here that's one of the sort of, haven't seen him for a while, but had been a regular, unusual gentleman, and come into the shop and said, I need a key for a lock, and he gave me the address. He said corner of Hopetown and Pitt Street, and at that point there's apartments in there now, but the building that was there previously had been demolished, and it was just an empty site with bits of concrete on it. I went to site and pulled up onto the site, and I thought, he's got this wrong. And when I'd asked him for a cell phone number, he said, I don't have a cell phone. And I thought, well, this is strange. And next thing up out of the ground pops his head, and it's him. He said, over here. So I go over, and he said, just down here, and there's a steel trapdoor into the ground. And I felt a bit uncomfortable. And I'm shining a torch in there, and there was another gentleman with his shirt off in there, and I said, how come you're down in there? He said, this is where the lock is. And I felt a bit uncomfortable. I said, I understand why you want a lock made down here. And he said, I'm staying here at the moment. And it had originally been a small basement room for the original building being pulled down, and they were obviously living rough and scored themselves a nice little space. And there was a door for a cavity, had a lockable door there, and he wanted a key made for it, so when he wasn't there, he could put his stuff safely and securely away. Pretty unusual place to make a key. Called at 8:30 in the morning, arrived at work. Lady said, I'm locked out of my apartment just off K Road. And I said, oh, okay. Went to site, and it was a lady of the night, had finished her shift, and rather big burly man as it was. And so we went to the apartment door, and obviously when you open a door, you don't just open a door without making sure you assess the situation. Am I opening a door for the right person? And so I said, so this is your apartment? And she said, yeah. And so I asked a couple of questions just to make sure that when we opened the door it was her place. And I said, so you're able to make payment on completion? I can do that. And so I got the door open. The moment I opened the door, she raced down the hallway, and I could see in the mirror that there was someone at the end of the hallway on a bed. And they started having a massive row, and it was her partner. And I'm kind of like, excuse me, I need payment, and took a while to get attention, come back up the hallway, and I said, look, I need to get payment. And he said, how much is it? And I said, well, it was $100, and I haven't got that much money. And I was like, well, you did say you could pay. And she said, can we do a little something else? And I said, no, I can't. I have to go back to work with money for my boss. I can't turn up and say I haven't got the money, I got something else. So yeah, that was an interesting one.